My name is Mubasher Ahmad. I completed my electronics engineering from Technical University of Budapest in Hungary. I work as an IT manager in a private company in Edmonton, Alberta.
हूँ बंदा मगर मैं खुदा चाहता हूँ.
During my studies in Hungary, I had the opportunity to serve Jamaat in a very close manner, being the only Pakistani Ahmadi in the country at that time. That also helped me to learn more about the service of Jamaat and how Jamaat functions. And at the same time gave me an opportunity to work very closely with a lot of missionaries and Humanity First and other organizations within Jamaat. So this was the base of my attention towards this kind of work. And when I moved to Canada in year 2000, I had the opportunity to perform Waqf-e-Ardhi for a couple of weeks in Ecuador in South America. During this trip, we were able to establish the Jamaat over there, get some baths, and at the same time know more about how that country worked, and that became the basis of my further Waqf-e-Ardhi trips in future. Later on, Alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity to perform Waqf-e-Ardhi in many other South American countries, including Uruguay, Paraguay, Cayman Islands, Honduras, and Alhamdulillah, most of these trips were blessed with fruits and with a lot of other blessings of Allah Almighty. This is such a great opportunity to help yourself to get closely connected to Jamaat that I would suggest each and every one of us should do it at least once, just to taste. One of the main reasons why I do this kind of work for Jamaat, or I would say for myself, is because it gives me total satisfaction. Because when you are out in the field for a couple of weeks or sometimes more time, you are really spending all of your time thinking about Jamaat, working for Allah Almighty, and serving the Jamaat in your entirety, not worrying about your job, not worrying about your family or for anything. And when you put that kind of concentration in anything, Allah Almighty of course rewards you, and He always blesses these activities. So Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, whatever the targets were given to me in any country, I was able to achieve them just because of the grace of Allah and with the prayers of Huzur Anwar ibn Aziz and acting upon the advice of the elders of Jamaat. However, whatever they told me, we had to follow that, we did that, and as a result it was successful. There could be a number of other activities depending on the situation. For example, in Belize, we were given the task to establish the Jamaat, to establish a mission house, and of course try to register the Jamaat. In some other cases, you may be given the task of only doing tarbiyat of existing Ahmadis. In some other cases, you may be required to just do food cooking, for example. We just had Jalsa in Paraguay, and we had 5 Khuddam and 2 Ansar and 1 Lajna who were doing Waqf-e-Ardhi. They had to cook food for 40 to 60 people twice a day, every day for almost 10 days. So this is all again part of their Waqf-e-Ardhi. When you go for Waqf-e-Ardhi, you are supposed to pay for your own expenses, your travel, your boarding and lodging. In many countries where Jamaat has been established, it is easier because you may be able to stay in the mission house and then carry out your activities from there. In my case, in most cases where I went, Jamaat had not been established, and that was one of our main tasks. So we had to look for a cheaper motel, in some cases a shared accommodation, in some cases we had to rent a room from some services, and in some cases we rented an apartment that served as our base for a few months until the Jamaat was fully established and we were able to rent a proper mission house and move into that. There could be many other challenges. For example, the local people may not be cooperative. There could be opposition to you, but again, you look at the opposition as a sign of the progress of Jamaat. In Belize, for example, we were there for about 5 days, and we had not achieved any bath. We were talking to many people. People would listen to us but not come towards the bath. So one day, local Muslim delegation came to our motel and they started talking to us. Of course, after a little bit of discussion, they did what most of the time they do. They started calling our names and they started talking bad things about Jamaat and threatened us that we should leave the country soon or else, we will face persecution. We, of course, wrote to Hazur Aziz right away for prayers and continued our work. So these people went back to their mosque and they announced in the mosque that there are people from Ahmadiyya Jamaat who are here to convert you, so make sure you don't go there and you don't talk to them because these are bad people and whatever else they had to say. As a result, that particular day we had 16 people visit us in our motel in the afternoon, and that is the very first day when we got our first bath in Belize.
खुदा चाहता हूँ